I'd conducted all over the place and won all the prizes, and I went to Juilliard and so on. But I reached a point in my career where I decided that what I really wanted was to make an orchestra with people like me. So people who understood what it meant to live with a mental illness. It, gives me a space where I can be myself and I can be a conductor, but not the old-fashioned, authoritarian model. But I also can be a human being. I can be a friend. I can be a mentor. I can be any number of things.
And, it was something that was kind of a refuge, and it was just something that worked really well with my brain, with how I express.
For me, the Me Too gift has been that I'm playing music again. And I do a little bit of playing, very little in the film, because I was mostly kind of scurrying around managing things. But for me, I had horrible anxiety and panic attacks as a younger musician, and had walked away from playing. And it didn't really occur to me when we started Me Too that I might begin playing myself again. I really was firmly entrenched in the management role.
I went along life just with this stigma following me along. And then this orchestra fired me. And I had to think at that point what it was about. It was about mental health stigma. So at that point, really being out there, it felt wonderful. One of the most freeing, I'll say lovely experience, just to not have to hide anything anymore.
We all know someone living with a mental illness, whether it's a family member, a friend, a colleague. As you said in your statistics, it's 1 in 5. And I don't think people realize that. And I think because of mental health stigma, so many people are afraid to share their stories or to even seek help because of the stigma. So we knew there was really an important message to be told in this.
And people with mental illness often feel an absence of that sense of belonging or being part of something bigger than themselves, and creating something that's meaningful. Some of the words used by folks in the film: less isolated, a safe place, always welcome back, a sense of purpose, so accepted, a measure of success. All those come together in this example of creative arts.
It helped me blend music and mental health, music and psychiatry, music and medicine. And it also sparked my interest in music and medicine that I probably had, but I never realized I had it.
That, as a person, as a whole, you have life's aspirations, and what are those? So, working with partners in the community on a local and statewide level, and now, this documentary is just inspiring. And I know individuals who may lack the confidence and the tools, may have the fear of failure or acceptance or whatever it is, that there is, this is a truly inspirational movement. I think that people can start in their bedrooms with peers, local community groups, that, recovery through music is an essential part of who they are.
It's about seeing strength in people. And there have been times where people said, Val, don't you see that so-and-so can't do something? Well, I've been given like this special eyesight, I think. Well, I see what people can do. And I think that's what this orchestra sees, is what people can do. and what they can accomplish. And I was so moved by and I don't want to quite call it forgiveness, but when people were to relapse and leave the orchestra and come back, they were welcomed back with open arms, and they were told that they were missed and they were needed, that chair remained theirs until they came back. And that type of openness and gentleness of spirit is what helps us to heal.
And I think they are also tapping into something that helps generate this sense of wholeness that often isn't found in other parts of their worlds. You know, they're often, our members are going to treatment and seeking therapeutic interventions, but when they're playing music, when they're painting, when they're drawing, when they're singing, when they're playing their instruments, they're a whole person doing that. They're not someone seeking treatment. They are bringing a gift to the world.
I think as psychiatrists, there really has been this kind of cold clinical world that gets formed where you go to the doctor and a pill is given to you, and you know there's this interaction that really lacks some of this warmth and connection and community. And I think that all of us, you know, who are physicians need to learn from groups like this and communities like this, documentaries like this, to really better understand the people that we're working with, and you know, reach beyond medicine and use other tools that are much more effective, I think, and helpful and important in many ways.
It's interesting at a time in history when we are so careful in so many areas about language and terms we use, we remain cavalier and insensitive when we talk about labels. So nobody thinks anything about saying he's crazy, he's insane. Newspapers, headlines. We could really make a huge difference if we would pay attention to language.
You are not a bipolar. You are a person living with bipolar.
Yeah.
Because it really, it's very sad when you put yourself in a box, and it comes with languaging.
A big piece of what I got out of the documentary are so many of the sound bites, for lack of a better way of putting it, about what the Me Too Orchestra does for people that could be echoed in the rest of society. You know, the sense of belonging again, valued role opportunities, relationships, all of that stuff is so important for recovery, and it's really not, it should not be that big of an ask for our society.
We need to do a real overhaul of this. And I think the first step is just to keep talking, like just stay out there and do what we're doing and just keep talking, and hopefully, you know, have this kind of spread more. I know that there's more, like there's some good stuff, like where people talk about it on social media. I follow a bunch of them on Instagram and stuff who are, you know, trying to raise awareness. But I think the more that we're open about it and the more that we talk about it is the best first step that we could possibly do to, you know, make it better for everyone.